So you've been staring at CNC routers for weeks, comparing specs, watching endless YouTube teardowns, and still can't shake that nagging doubt. Will this thing actually do what I need without turning my garage into a second job site? I get it. The NymoLabs NBS 6040 just popped up in my feed, and honestly, it looked promising on paper. 710-watt spindle, linear rails on every axis, even an offline TFT touchscreen. But after digging into what it actually delivers versus the hype, here's what matters if you're thinking about pulling the trigger. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this machine isn't for hobbyists who just want to carve a couple of coasters a month. It's built for makers who want to cut real materials: wood, acrylic, soft metals like aluminum without fighting the machine every step of the way. The 710-watt spindle is no joke. It handles 6mm end mills in aluminum without bogging down, which is something a lot of budget routers can't say. And the fact that every axis runs on linear rails and ball screws instead of the usual supported round rails means you're getting precision that stays consistent over time, not just on day one. If you're planning to run jobs that need repeatable accuracy, think signage, small furniture parts, or even prototype enclosures, this setup actually saves you from the constant calibration headaches that plague cheaper machines. Now, the software side is where things get interesting. It's running Grbl version 1.1 on an open-source controller, which means you're not locked into some proprietary ecosystem. If you're comfortable tweaking settings or using community-supported CAM tools like Fusion 360 or Estelcam, you'll appreciate that flexibility. The offline TFT touchscreen is a solid addition. No need to keep a laptop tethered to the machine while it's running, and it handles basic jogging and file selection without fumbling with cables. That said, if you're someone who prefers plug-and-play software suites like VCarve Pro or Aspire, you'll need to budget extra time for post-processor tweaks. The machine ships with basic firmware, so getting it dialed in for advanced toolpaths isn't exactly plug-and-play. Let's talk about the modular design. It's marketed as a friendly maker ecology, and honestly, that's not just marketing fluff. The frame is designed to let you upgrade components down the line, swap in a stronger spindle, add a fourth axis, or even upgrade the controller if you outgrow the stock setup. That's rare at this price point, and it means you're not stuck with a machine that becomes obsolete as your projects get more ambitious. On the flip side, if you're not planning to expand beyond basic 2D and 3D carving, you might not need that flexibility, and the modular parts could feel like overkill. Where this machine really shines is in daily usability. The linear rails and ball screws aren't just for show, they reduce backlash, which means cleaner cuts and less time spent cleaning up rough edges. If you've ever used a budget router and had to deal with chatter marks or inconsistent depth, you'll notice the difference immediately. The 710-watt spindle also means you can push harder feeds and speeds without burning out, which is a game changer if you're doing production runs or batch cutting parts. I've seen users run this machine for hours straight cutting plywood or acrylic without overheating, which is more than I can say for some of the cheaper alternatives. But let's be real, there are trade-offs. The assembly isn't trivial. You're looking at a solid half-day of building, aligning rails, and tuning the machine before it's ready for serious work. If you're not mechanically inclined or don't have a workspace set up for precision work, this could be a frustrating experience. The instructions are decent, but they assume a certain level of comfort with CNC terminology. Also, while the machine handles soft metals well, it's not a full metal milling beast. If you're trying to cut steel or titanium, you'll need to upgrade the spindle and possibly the frame, which pushes the cost closer to mid-range machines. So who should buy this? If you're a maker who's outgrown a desktop router and needs reliable, repeatable cuts in wood, acrylic, or aluminum without breaking the bank, this is a solid step up. It's also a great choice if you value future upgrades and an open ecosystem over a locked-down, all-in-one package. If you're a beginner who just wants to carve a few signs or experiment with basic 3D designs, you might be better off starting with something simpler and cheaper. This machine is overkill for casual use. Who should skip it? If you're not prepared to spend time assembling, tuning, and learning the software side of CNC routing, this isn't the machine for you. It's also not ideal if you need to cut hard metals regularly or if you don't have the space for a machine that's about the size of a mini fridge. And if